Hello everyone, welcome to today's news charter. We will begin with the prelims. Because Indus River system has always been in use, that is one reason. And the second reason is from geography point of view, rivers are very important always. So this is something which you should be knowing in a proper way. When it comes to rivers, try to look at the maps, the tributaries, at least the most important rivers and their tributaries you should be knowing. That is extremely important. So take a look at this question with reference to Indus River system. Of the following four rivers, so they are telling that the question is about Indus River system, and we have given four rivers. Out of this river, which river flows directly into the Indus River? All the four are tributaries, but which river flows directly into the Indus River? So you need to have a good knowledge of the maps to answer this question. Take a look at the map. Indus is there, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi. All these rivers join together will meet Satluj, and it is the Satluj which goes and mixes with the Indus River. So it is the Satluj which is a direct linkage with Indus. Other rivers are not. So you need to study the map properly to answer this question. The first topic of the day, high altitude pseudo satellite. Recently, India has been experimenting with high altitude pseudo satellite. The CSIR, National Aerospace Laboratories, they have successfully tested the high altitude pseudo satellite and it has been working well. So at present, what do we do for a satellite? We will launch a satellite into the space. We will keep the satellite at a particular point so that we can transmit the signals regularly to the Earth. But with high altitude pseudo satellite, it will be in the form of a unmanned aerial vehicle, which will have the satellite system in it, which will have solar panels in it, so that it can take the solar energy and it can go to higher altitude. It can be placed at any point we want, so that it is not fixed at a particular point. Wherever we need information from or wherever we need information to be disseminated, we can send this UAV at that point. So it has serious amount of advantages. So the basic things about it, it will be able to rise up to 23 kilometers, stay airborne for at least 90 days. So if we are sending a normal UAV, its fuel will get over within 2-3 days and it has to come down. We have to refuel it. But with this high altitude pseudo satellite, for 90 days, it can be there in the space. They are similar to drones, except that they are expected to be in stratosphere, not in troposphere. Drones usually go in troposphere. This will go up to stratosphere. Powered enough by solar cells and battery system, it will be flying for days together. Where we can apply this system, it can be applied for surveillance to beaming 5G wave. So there is no restriction. It can be used for anything. Whatever a present satellite is doing, everything can be done by high altitude pseudo satellite too. And the most important significance is it is very flexible. Satellites have to be fixed at a particular point, and changing the course of the satellite becomes very difficult. But with high altitude pseudo satellite, it becomes very easy and it is cost effective also. Water prevention and control of pollution. Recently, the government introduced an amendment to the Water Act. So we need to know what are the major amendments. So with this, one very important point which is going to help in ease of doing business too is it removes the provision of imprisonment for several violations which are petty in nature. That is minor violations. If someone has started a business, he has done some minor violation without knowing. In such case, what is the use in getting him to the jail or placing heavy fine? That is not required. So it has removed the provision of prevention of imprisonment for several violations which are minor in nature. So the central government, in consultation with the CPCB, that is with Water Pollution Act, Water Prevention of Pollution Act, we introduced two bodies. One is Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Board. Central Pollution Control Board will take care of the overall administration all over the country. And for every state, we will have a state pollution control board. So this central pollution control board can exempt. So this point is very important. According to the recent amendment, the CPCB can exempt certain categories of industries from obtaining consent from state pollution control board. So which industries and all these details we do not have at present. But the amendment says that if the central government want certain industries to be away from getting permission, for example, if they want to increase the production of, let's say, aluminum. So what the central government can tell aluminum industries do not have to get permission from the State Pollution Control Board. So more aluminum industries will come into play. So this is the basic idea. It is for betterment of business. The center may issue guidelines for grant, refusal or cancellation of consent granted by SPCB. So this is very simple. Center can give guidelines to the state pollution control board. You can remember it easily. Monitoring devices. So what happens is whenever a state pollution control board gives permission to certain industries, they will fix a monitoring board. For example, for water pollution, how much amount of pollutant is coming out of a particular industry, there will be a monitoring device. So certain industries, what they do is they will tamper this monitoring device and try to show that we are sending very less pollutants. And several such cases have been found out. So the recent amendment tells that if you are tampering, then we will penalize you. Center to frame rules to select the chairperson of SPCBs. Chairperson from now on will be selected by the center only, and frame guidelines that states can follow on matters for establishing industries and new operating process. So overall, it looks like the central government wants more hold on the state pollution control boards because it is a major claim that state pollution control boards are involving in corruption, and the state government is trying to promote people of their own interest in their state. So these measures should be avoided. So in order to prevent pollution, they have introduced the recent amendment, and in order to prevent corruption also. About MSP, we need to know about MSP because of two important reasons. Reason number one, MS Swaminathan got Bharat Ratna. And reason number two, because recently the farmers are telling that we are going to start our farmers agitation because we need proper MSP. That is a fixed MSP. They wanted MSP to be introduced in the form of a law, which is not there at present. So from examination point of view too, from mains point of view or prelims point of view, MSP is always an important topic. It is a evergreen topic for UPSC. It is a favorite topic, so you need to study about it very well. What is MSP? MSP is the guaranteed amount paid to farmers when the government buys the produce. If I'm a farmer, I'm producing rice, the government will tell that whatever rice you are producing, we will collect it from you at this particular cost, and they will tell it even before I going into agriculture. So it will be already told. So without fear, I can go to the field and I can do my agriculture. And after cultivation, the produce will be taken by the government. So this is the basic idea. Here, from prelims point of view, you need to know certain important facts. The MSP is announced by the central government, but it is based on the recommendation of Commission for Agricultural Cost and Price. CACP will recommend, and after that, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs will decide the price. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is chaired by the Prime Minister of the country. They take the final decision. What are the factors considered by what are the factors considered by the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices? Some important factors are there you need to know about it. First is cost of production. For a farmer, how much cost he has incurred to produce the product. Demand and supply, market price, and intercrop price parity. So all these factors are considered. How much is the price to produce the crop? What is the demand and supply in the market at present? Market price trends. So government is getting the crop at a particular cost, but what is the market price, the current market price of rice or wheat, etc. Intercrop price parity. What is the price difference between rice and wheat? What is the price difference between wheat and pulses? So these things also will be considered. So these are the basic points. So at present, how many crops are there? Totally 23, 22 mandated crops, and fair and remunerative price for sugarcane. For sugarcane, we don't call it as MSP, we call it as fair and remuneration price. So totally 23, 22 crops and one sugarcane. Three kinds of production cost is fixed for every crop. State and all India levels, both are fixed. So these are the three production cost. You need to know about it. A2, A2 plus FL and C2. A2 is agricultural cost, all cost paid out directly by the farmer. Entire cost incurred by the farmer in production of the crop. That is A2. When it comes to A2 plus FL, we are including FL as family labor. So if a farmer is involved in agriculture, his entire family is involved in agriculture. So for the work they are doing throughout the stage, throughout 2-3 months, they need to have some labor also, right? They are putting their work, so they need to be paid for that, which we generally exclude. So A2 plus FL includes the family labor too. That is A2 plus FL. C2. This is the most comprehensive and the best price. Here, what we do is the factor of rental and interest income also comes in. So, for example, if I am a farmer, if I have 10 acres of land and I'm doing agriculture, if I were not doing agriculture, I would have given the land for rent and I would have got the rent, or I would have got the interest. Now I'm not getting it. So that is a loss for me. So in C2, what happens is the total cost of production, the total family labor, and the total rental income, everything is calculated together. So C2 is the most comprehensive calculation of MSP prices. Here, whenever we talk about MSP, we need to consider the recommendations given by MS Swaminathan Committee. MS Swaminathan was heading the National Commission of Farmers. In 2006, he gave the report, but the report is not implemented even today. He said there is no use in calculating MSP using the production cost or family labor or everything. That is always going to be less. So what he said is it would be very simple. All you have to do is take the total cost of production of the farmers and add 50 percentage to it. So at least 50 percentage more than the weighted average cost of production. So if 1,000 rupees is the total cost I have spent, add 50 percentage, give me 1,500 so that I can get some profit out of it. So that's what MS Swaminathan said. Apart from this, he also said that land reforms are not implemented in the country even today properly. So fast process the land reforms. Second, increase in public investment. Without public investment, agriculture will never develop. Agriculture is under failure at present. So he said public investment is very important, especially infrastructure projects and irrigation projects. So these are all the basic things he told. He also told to promote research and development, road connectivity, etc., so that food processing industries can develop in India. So these points are extremely important for mains. MS Swaminathan Committee, very important for mains. For prelims, you might get a question, what is MS Swaminathan Committee about? So it is about farmers and farmers' income, MSP, etc. Mains question of the day. Minimum support price is the necessity of the time but cannot be a permanent solution. This is actually true. In minimum support price, what happens? The government is giving the farmers a guarantee, we will get it at a particular cost, but it is not the market cost. So the best solution is when the market itself is profitable for the farmers. So how to do it? When the farmers do not sell just raw material. If I'm just selling wheat, my profit will be very less. But if I have a food processing industry where I can process the wheat, I can make wheat flour or I can make cookies out of it or biscuits out of it, and then I sell, my profit is extremely high. So that is the point where we need to reach. So we need more research and development. We need to invest more on public infrastructure. We need to promote food processing industries in India. We need to promote farmer agriculture producers associations in India. So these are all the solutions we need to point out in your answers. Some important point for mains examination. See, Parliament and the recent performance is a very favorite topic of UPSC because our Parliament keeps evolving. So at present, we have a single party which is dominating the Parliament, especially Lok Sabha. So there are a lot of changes. There is very less debate going on in Lok Sabha at present. Bills are getting passed very fast. It has both positives and negatives to it. Positives is any reform can be done at a very short period of time, which India really requires. But the negative here is when you pass bills or act at such faster pace, there is no proper debate about it. A bill is passed for the entire country, and if there is no debate about it, people do not understand about the negatives of the bill. So it may result in negative consequence for the entire country because when you take a measure, you need to critically analyze it first. So recently, if you see in the recent time, especially in the 17th Lok Sabha, what happened is the number of days in which the Lok Sabha sat together to discuss about bills and process itself has reduced to a greater extent. In the first Lok Sabha, when Jawaharlal Nehru took over as the Prime Minister of the country, the average number of days in which the Lok Sabha members sat together was 135 days. If you take the 17th Lok Sabha, it was just 55 days. So this clearly shows that there is a very big lack of debate and constructive criticism of the government. So this is one important point you should be knowing about. Another important point is change in Lok Sabha's process or the way Lok Sabha is functioning. For example, Article 93 clearly says immediately the new Lok Sabha gets elected, the first thing you need to do is elect a speaker and a deputy speaker also. But in the 17th Lok Sabha, they did not appoint a deputy speaker. It was functioning with the speaker. So this is change of convention that should be avoided. 35% of the bills were passed with less than an hour of discussion. 35% of the total bills were passed with less than 1 hour discussion. So this clearly shows that we need more discussion, we need more debates in the parliament. Other than that, total number of private member bill introduced in the country was very high in the 17th Lok Sabha, but out of that, only two were discussed. Other than more than 700 private member bills were introduced in 17th Lok Sabha, but only two of them were even discussed. So this trend should change. Even private member bill should be given importance. So these points you can note down in your answer. From prelims point of view, a very important wildlife sanctuary, Rollapadu Wildlife Sanctuary. Where is it located? It is located in Nandyal district of Andhra Pradesh. That's all you need to know. It is very famous for the Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard is mostly found in Thar Desert, in Gujarat and some parts of Rajasthan, maybe in some parts of Madhya Pradesh too. But very unique thing happens. Some amount of Great Indian Bustards come to Nandyal district of Andhra Pradesh, especially in Rollapadu Wildlife Sanctuary. The problem is in the last 2 years, they were not coming, not even a single Great Indian Bustard has come. So this is a point of concern for all the wildlife enthusiasts and for everyone else too. About Great Indian Bustards, they are under critically endangered category of IUCN. So that point you should know. So that's all for today. All the best. Study well. Let's meet tomorrow.